Hello?
All right, Brooklyn Bulldogs, you're on the Trash Mouth Fantasy Football Podcast. You just took out the End Zone Freaks on Monday night. I guess it's called Bolden is Bold.
To Bolden go, where no man has gone before.
Oh, I like that.
Of course you like it. It's a Bulldog quote, man. You gotta love it.
Was your 10th career comeback on Monday night with 2 minutes to go. A big win by the Bulldogs might have just saved your season.
Yeah, well, I gotta tell you, that was a brutal game, man. Brutal, horrible, disgusting display of professional football I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was an ugly win for the Jags. It was an ugly game for the Ravens. So, moving on, it was a big win. Now you have Gmen on the schedule week 8, and you could end his playoff hopes again, just like you did late last season, and put yourself closer to the End Zone Freaks.
Yeah, well, the good news there is the bye week, the bulk of my bye weeks in terms of the guys who are the bread and butter of the Bulldogs' success, or potential success, that is, Vic obviously is coming back. Hakeem Nicks, who I made a trade for, will be available. So we'll see how it goes,
That's true. You got a lot of players coming off bye, a lot of roster moves you made for some Bills players. They're coming back. So it looks like you're going to have a full arsenal of players. So who has to step up for the Brooklyn Bulldogs for the rest of the season?
I got to get something more out of my second quarterback. I mean, obviously, I picked up Colt McCoy to get me through the bye week. Week 6 didn't go so well. Tmffl has a lot of potential. It's just a matter of what direction that Denver team wants to go. And I mean, look, Tmffl's a winner. Everybody knows it. He might not be the best quarterback. He might not throw the best football in the world. But as you saw this weekend, he rallied the troops. He's definitely a winner. He's got it in his DNA. So we're proud to have him on the Bulldog franchise. We expect nothing but the best from our players. We're all winners here. By the way, doesn't it seem like every year I'm the guy that ends Gmen's playoff chances?
Yeah, the last few years you definitely had his number, so you could definitely put a serious dent in his playoff hopes with a victory. Because if Doug loses this week to Duval, who's undefeated, you could definitely come within one game of him, because you're even in the season series. So there's a lot of football left to be played. 6 weeks left.
Oh yeah, like a friend of mine always says, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
That is true. All right, we have a different type of topic here. You've been in the league now about 10 or 11 years. Who would you say is your favorite all-time fantasy football player? Could be a player on this team or past teams.
Only on my teams?
Only on your team.
Oh, geez. I tell you, the year that I had McNabb and Owens on the Eagles, that was pretty fun to watch. I mean, week 1, they came out, 3 hookups right off the bat, bang. That kind of fell into my lap the way the draft materialized, so that was fun to watch. But I have to say, the title year, obviously, Phillip Rivers was my horse, man. He had a great year. I had Gates, so that was a good hookup. Had Ben Roethlisberger, did a little, down the stretch, got me to the title. So I have to say that was my favorite, only because it resulted in the ultimate prize. So, you can't argue with that, right?
That is true. You definitely had a great team in 2008, a well-balanced attack. He held off the 6 shooters. There's another team that's making a lot of news so far this season. A lot of GMs are kind of on the fence on how you interpret it, but the Bengali Bombers are 6-0-1. What is the Bulldogs' take on the Bengalese team? Is he so-called from other GMs calling him a paper tiger? Is he legit? Does he have a good team? What do you think?
No, he's definitely legit, and only from the point of view that he got off to a fast start. So he definitely separated himself. So, having those 5 or 6 wins under his belt definitely put the separation between him and some of the other guys that started fast but have started to sputter, and some of the guys that started to slow, and they're going to pick it. So he built himself a nice cushion. So you can't really argue with that. No matter how it happened or the way it materialized, that's what he's faced with. So, he's definitely in the driver's seat. I think his team is all right. It's strong. He's got good balance. He seems to put up a lot of points. Players are consistent for him. So, that's all you really want out of your players in fantasy football. You want guys that are going to come out and get you those 40, 50 points a week, put you in a position to win, and he's been doing that. So, I don't begrudge him or look at other teams and say, that guy's not so powerful or whatever. As far as I'm concerned, if you want to win the division or you want to make the playoffs, he's the guy you got to deal with. So, he's definitely someone that, from that point of view, is legit. You can't argue with it, No,
I totally agree. You're right. Definitely, Bengali Bombers does have a good team. So, what does the Bulldogs want to say to his fans that are listening to this podcast all over the country? What does the Bulldogs say to his fans saying for the rest of the season?
Well, listen, the Bulldogs fans throughout the world, throughout the country, they know what the Bulldogs are all about. Bulldogs are competitive. Bulldogs get in there and they fight. They don't back down. They know that, no matter what happens, fast start, slow start, bad luck, injuries, whatever, we will overcome. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. We definitely got a lot of fight, and the fans know that. So, all those loyal fans out there, we appreciate them sticking by us. They know that when the chips are down and it's on the line, they'll get the best out of the Bulldogs one way or the other. So, they're with us, we're with them. We're going to ride it out and see what happens.
All right, I think that's a confident Bulldogs. He's come back from deficits before to make the playoffs.
Listen, everybody knows, man. I'm the guy that everybody measures themselves against. You start out 4-0 and you say, all right, good. I got a couple of games on the Bulldog. We can't count him out. Or at the end of the day, if they say, you know what? I didn't make the playoffs this year. I finished 3rd in the division, but I had a better season than the Bulldogs. So, in some ways, they see that as a little bit of a moral victory. But everybody knows, as long as I'm still around, in the dead of night, 2 in the morning, you hear a dog bark and you wake up, you find yourself in a cold sweat. You don't know what's going on, but you hear a dog barking, and you look over your shoulder, and you expect to see a bulldog fighting at your heels. So,
yes, a lot of mailmen are definitely not liking the Bulldogs, but the Bulldogs have fight. That's why they come from Brooklyn. But Brooklyn Bulldogs,
we're on the top 10 wanted list for USPS, FedEx, UPS, DHL, your local carrier, mailboxes, etc. Postal boxes, addresses. Nobody likes us.
I love it. All right, Bulldogs, I want to thank you for taking time to talk with us on the Trash Mouth Fantasy Football Podcast Show, and good luck the rest of the season.
All right, thanks for having me. I'll see you later on.